Everyone, my name is Cosmin, and this is actually my first video. I'm gonna show you something quite interesting in Make and Airtable. More exactly, I'm gonna show you how you could link multiple records to one record using Integromat. I'm gonna show you a bit the problem and then show you the solution on how to do this. Before this, let's actually start on presenting you the one use case for this, and then we'll jump into the actual solution. So we have a bunch of products, and I want to link the products that have the category McDonald's to what we call to the restaurants here, right? So I want the products such as, for example, cheeseburger, ribs, and let's say tacos. I want them to be uploaded at the same time. I want to upload all these records dynamically based using Integromat, so not manually. And if you ever encountered this issue, like the way you would probably try to solve it is you'd try to search the product. I'm just gonna use three, not to make it too complicated. You probably search the product, right? Identify the actual how do you call them, products, and then probably use an array aggregator, because if you're a beginner, generally that's what you do, right? And then you try to update it here, because you understand that this requires an array, and whenever you do this you get this error. It doesn't really work even if this is an array, right? And also another thing that it's quite important for you to look at. So if you click on here, you need to have this tool. We call it Integromat Dev Tool. It's an extension. You definitely need to have this in order for you to have a better understanding of what is actually happening behind. So since we're actually dealing with a lot of API calls and requests, you need to be able to read them. I'll make another video on this, but for this specific purpose, I'll just start this again, right? So if you look here, for example, we have this call, right? And if we go to the request body here, wait a second. So we actually have an error here because this one never really reached to this point, at this point. And in order for us to actually sort this out, we just have to do this. Let's take one record or two. In order for you to see how this actually works properly, what I recommend you to do is to just try to imagine how you could add, for like, how does this work in a manual way, let's say, right? So if I pick up the records ID of two products, it doesn't really matter right now. What I'm trying to do is just add two products here and try to see how the automation would work if I would just add two products, more specifically the cheeseburger and the ribs. By the way, the record ID, the way I obtain this in Airtable, if you don't know, is I have a formula field and I just type record ID. Okay, and this is basically what brings me to the, how do you call this? This is what basically brings the record of the ID of the record, right? And now coming back to the Integromat Dev Tool or Make Dev Tool, if you click Run, you'll see that this time actually it worked. So if you go here, we actually added McDonald's to both of them. The most important one is actually here to watch, right? But anyway, coming back here, you can look at this. So this was the actual request body. This is what was sent via an API. So this is the column, right? So if we look here, this is the column ID. More exactly, in our case, this is products, and then we have the actual record ID for each product. So the question is, how can you send two record IDs in the same time in Airtable? Because apparently this is possible, and do this in an automatic fashion, because this is not dynamic, definitely, and this will not work. So here's the solution for this. But before showing you the solution, please like, subscribe, and comment, pass any feedback that you have here, and also there's a form down the video where you could basically just add suggestions of what you want to see, what other tutorials you want to see. So let's get back to the solution. We go here. So we start again with the simple search records, where we're actually looking up the restaurants, the products that we have to identify, right? And since I mentioned initially that I want to add the category, I want to add only the products that belong to the category McDonald's, right, in our case. What I did, I put a filter using category McDonald's, so we just name it here. Category equals McDonald's, right? And the secret is to use a text aggregator. So you will be able to find this here. It's not such a common tool used by beginners, but it's incredibly useful. So what it does, it basically gathers up all the search results that you have from Airtable and adds them into a string, right? So let me show you. I'll just click search. As you can see, I found 10 bundles, even if I have a lot more, but I did have a limit here of 10. So yeah, keep that in mind, right? The bundle already worked out. And this is my result right now, right? So the way it looks is like it got the source module, right? I used as a row separator other, and I'll explain this later, right? And also a comma, right? So the comma is actually the row separator. And the way the text needs to be presented, it's this way. So if you remember, earlier I told you that we need to pass to Airtable a JSON. And in order for us to parse a JSON, which is also an array, because what we had before was essentially two records. So it's a list of multiple objects, right? So that is what we define as an array. And in order to define an array in JSON, in this in make, right, the way you do it is you click, you just type this, right? And this is basically what creates your array. And what happens is that if we click run, you'll have something like this, right? And then the final step here is you use map and you put it here, right? And if I click run, you'll see that this has been added automatically now. And yeah, that's pretty much it in regards to the solution. I would love to hear your questions. I hope all is good, and good luck automating, and write me if you have any questions about the video. Take care. Have a good day.